Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Hey everyone, I'm Adam Harry from BoLS Souls with
Chris from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Now Chris, you brought something I'm pretty pumped about. You've got the Waterdeep Dragon Heist book, source book, and some cool new minis, right?
Yep, we brought both of them along. I'm actually also excited about this because I'm a big fan of Waterdeep. But I'm a very big fan of this new book. It has a really fun adventure with some different tweaks from the previous ones they've done. Yeah. And of course, I always like when they come out with the new figures because I'm a collector and having a million more minis is always fun for me.
Right? You can always use more minis.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and take a look.
All right.
Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Now, I've been super pumped about this this book since we heard about it.
Me too.
It's a lot of cool stuff. Before we get into the book, I do want to tackle the minis, just because I feel like this is going to be a little quicker, just to show this off. So we'll put that to the side for now. And we've already cut the tabs on the side here, so we can pop these out. So what are we getting here? Pre-painted plastic minis.
Yep. Right. You're gonna get 4 of them, 1 big one guaranteed, and 3 smaller ones.
So this is just like the other D&D and other collectible minis we've seen before, right? Let me zoom in on these bad boys real fast. So who do we have here?
I'm not sure.
This is a Pit Fiend.
Very nice.
I've dealt with Pit Fiends before in other games.
They've dealt with me before, unfortunately.
Very nice. Whoa, we've got a animated door. That's kind of fun.
That's gonna be awesome.
We've also got, this is a City Watchman.
Oh, those guys are always getting in the way of our adventures.
Yep.
And then, of course, who's this? Lord Victoro.
Oh,
very
fancy
cool.
pant. He's a totally normal, totally not demonic, worshipping Lord of the.
You can tell by his clothes. Totally, couldn't possibly.
Totally normal guy. Yeah.
Perfectly normal.
Sweet. Okay, well that's the minis, and again, there's a whole set for Waterdeep specifically. All the different characters, all the fun stuff. I think there was even Volothamp.
Yes.
Volo's Guide.
Of course, you can get some of those classic characters out of this one too.
Yep, pretty cool stuff. And then there's just a ton of other iconic characters and stuff like that.
Everything you'd need to run into Waterdeep.
Sweet. Yep. All right. It's kind of fun too because the City Watch, you actually do need those guys because you're kind of working for the bad guys a little bit, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. So the fun thing about the Dragon Heist is, and we mentioned this a little bit at the beginning, is that the villain in this one isn't set.
Yeah.
You're setting that up at the beginning, and it affects the entire adventure, and it actually allows you to change the adventure midway through if you find the characters are going a different way and you want to switch it up.
Yeah, so I'm not going to put you on the spot, but do you know all 4 villains by name? Because I don't, and I know one of them is Xanathar, but then their other ones have some really fun names like Jalaxel.
Yep, he's in it.
There's the Victoros, that family.
Yes, and there's the evil wizard who's a clone, and I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Manshun.
Maybe.
It is.
Hey, nice. We just opened up. Yes. Oh, sorry. The Castellanterns. That's the totally normal guys.
Yes.
Sorry, Lord Victoro.
Well,
I got
that's
it mixed
okay.
up.
He's probably a doppelganger. It's fine.
He's probably. There's a lot of really cool NPCs in this book.
Oh God. Yes.
Let's just. We're not going to show the whole book off because that would spoil everything. But the book is really pretty.
Yes, it is.
Want to mention the disclaimer. Always read the disclaimers because they're hilarious. Here are the table of contents. Chris, can you give us a quick rundown of kind of what the book has in it?
So the book's going to have your entire adventure. At the very beginning, the very first thing it's going to open you up with on that introduction is telling you why this is a little bit different. It tells you the background of the story, and then it shows you those villains like we talked about, because those villains are going to affect your story, your time of frame for that story, even the final adventure of the story. So I think that's a really fun twist to the traditional Dungeons and Dragons book.
Yeah, what's neat about this too, I think, is if you are a DM and you actually run multiple parties, you can run this exact same adventure in 16 different ways, depending on your villain and the season that you actually set in.
Exactly.
Which is kind of fun.
It gives you a lot more flexibility and a lot more replayability, which I think is great for, a D&D adventure like this.
Yeah. I think you can theoretically you could run this adventure for one party, and then run the exact same adventure, change stuff up for another party, but you could even run the same party through the same adventure just from a different point of view.
You can definitely do that. Now, the baseline background will always be the same, but what happens in the differences is the different seasons create different scenarios.
Right.
And every one of those villains is tied to a different season, which is why it's so unique, because you could start off and do a fall adventure with one of the villains, and then the next time you do winter, and you're going to get a completely different scenario.
Yeah, it is tied that way, but if you wanted to get creative, you could mix them. It would be a little, again, that's more work on the DM's part. But regardless, there's a lot of different ways to do this adventure. Let's get back to the table of contents real fast. What else are we looking at? By the way, that's the money. A dragon is a gold coin in Waterdeep, so you're also trying to break into the vault of a gold dragon, so it's a lot of plays on words there.
They do a lot of fun plays on words. The rest of it, you're going to have, you got your basic adventure layout, how it's going to start, where it gets to, and then you're going to get to the point where it's going to shoot off into its different points based on what you chose.
Right. From what I understand too, the Friend in Need actually sets up the adventure. It's designed for levels 1 and 2, and then you get into Troll Skull Alley, which kind of cements the player's home base. And then from there you have Fireball, which kicks off
the entire heist,
the rest of the heist. Which is part of the fun. So what are some of the cool things you like in this book? Because I've actually, JR and I have actually been messing around with this already, so my compatriot here at BoLS. But what do you like in this book?
Well, I like the fact that it tells you in the very beginning that this is a book that's meant to be adaptable to your team. So you can pick out what you want to do at the very beginning. You can have your villain lined up and you can have your season lined up. And then 2 or 3 chapters into this thing, you can find out your players are going a way that you think would be much more fun for, say, Xanathar to be the villain, but you didn't plan that. You don't have to find out that final villain and how he becomes it until the end, because the whole point is that all 4 of those villains are always at play no matter what.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter who it is, because you can switch gears and suddenly those other villains are now hindering and helping the players. I like that because it gives a lot of flexibility to a pre-built adventure that I like.
Yeah, no, the fact that there are so many different paths to the end point from a pre-constructed adventure is pretty cool. Everything's sort of pre-written, but there's a lot of flexibility within that, and any DM worth of salt is going to be able to work within that. So I really love this adventure already. I was reading through it earlier. It's fantastic. The NPCs are really fun and really flavorful.
It really fills out Waterdeep too. If you're a fan of Forgotten Realms already, this is a fantastic addition piece just to fill out that city. That's such a legend. It's such a legend, and the cool part about this is because they included the city with the 4 different seasons, it actually does make it feel like a real alive place. Completely. So other fun facts, there's tons of really cool artwork in this book, obviously. There's one page that I absolutely love too that has the Yawning Taverns. The Yawning Portal, where you can actually look up all the different characters and stuff as you start off with your adventure. This is so cool. This is one of my favorite art pieces from this book. I love the story of the Yawning Portal too, just because it ties into, again, Waterdeep and later adventures that they've already talked about coming out with. I have the Yawning Portal book. I use it a lot for dungeon reference. If you ever DM and you need some ideas, that's a great book to have lying around. But also just the fact that it's a place, it's an alive place in Waterdeep that your players can go visit and see this crazy menagerie of stuff. It's supposed to be this great host of really random stuff, and this illustration does a really great job of showing how chaotic it is on the inside of this really unique location. So, and just for the record, you pay to go down, and you got to pay to come back up. And if you don't have money, you're not coming back. You ain't coming back unless there's a kind NPC patron at the bar that will at the Yawning Portal. I don't know. There's actually one. There's a backstory to that, but yeah. Anyway, her husband died down there, went missing, and she does it to give the owner the finger. But anyway, if she's in town. If she happens to be there that time. But anyway, Yawning Portal's there. That's a tie-in adventure to a later half of this, because what I really liked about this, spoiler, at the end of the adventure, theoretically anyway, the players do walk away with 500,000 dragons. 500,000 gold dragons. That's a lot of coin. That's an enormous amount in D&D. Yes. Now, the cool part, I think,
again, they have ways to deal with that in game, in universe that makes sense.
Yep.
And then they have already planned follow-up adventures for that. So this is so cool. I think by the time this gets into DMs and players' hands, it's fantastic supplements.
Oh yeah. And
so what other fun stuff is in there?
So I mean, every chapter has fun little backstories and fun stuff to go around for the different characters. I don't want to get too much into this because you don't want to spoil anything. But
I know there's 12 magic items in the book, which we're not going to cover because
again,
it's part of the fun.
Yeah.
If you're a player.
But the background stuff it gives you, the interesting characters it gives you are phenomenal. One of my favorite things is going to be in the back. I'm going to cheat a little bit and just go straight back to it. But I love that it comes with the full color.
Yes, that's right. It has the. Oh, this is the key. Hang on, no, don't read that yet. That's cheating. But
we'll also hide that.
Yeah, but there is a full color poster size map you can pull out. You can actually tear it out.
Yep.
And hang it on a wall or give it to your players. It's like, hey, here's the map of the city.
When I first started D&D, these things were the bomb, and I still I love maps. I love a map of an entire city that you can use not only for this adventure but for everything you're doing with Waterdeep. So that's phenomenal.
If you ever want a little DM trick I've learned, if you ever want to have an adventure, you don't have a lot prepared, you get one of these maps. And then you just make it a sewer adventure, and then all the streets become pipes.
Yep.
And then boom, you kind of go from there.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Having these maps is great. It's such a good book. It's 224 pages long.
Yeah.
Full color, hardback, all the way through. Gorgeous book.
Yeah.
Fantastic adventure. It is geared more towards the DM.
Yes.
But if your group buys one or give it to your DM as a gift, I think it's a fantastic.
I think it's a fantastic gift for the DM to get. And like I said, with the variety of choices in this adventure, it really doesn't hurt after you run it through the first time for somebody else to take a look at it.
The other thing too is like you don't even have to run the adventure per se. You can just have events from the adventure, be little side, because this book is chock full of plot hooks.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't turn a page and not find a plot hook.
And those 4 villains give you so much background to what already is going on in Waterdeep. I mean, they are tied to this adventure, of course, but those 4 have their hooks into Waterdeep no matter what. So you can carry that stuff over easily into any adventure you have.
Yeah. I also, one last thing I want to talk about too is I love that there's the whole meta story going on, because you do have Volo, you do have Xanathar, you've got other characters that have been written about, Mordenkainen, all that fun stuff, all those fun NPCs are sprinkled throughout the universe, but they kind of... Waterdeep's kind of like this crossroads, this nexus point for all of them too. So if you ever want your characters to actually meet those characters...
This is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. Fun stuff all the way around. That's all we're going to show from Dragon Heist because it is such a cool adventure. I don't want to spoil it anymore. So
all right,
let's hop out for a really fast recap.
Sounds good.
Well, that was the Waterdeep set. Again, the book's awesome.
Yep.
The minis are great too. So if like you need dudes for Waterdeep, you've got that covered.
I'm a big fan of the sculpts they do that they switch up specifically for the adventures. It makes it very easy to just pick up and play. So
very cool stuff. And of course, the adventure of Waterdeep again. Try not to spoil everything, but it's such a good one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and if you're a fan of Forgotten Realms, again, the characters they bring back for this, fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. Let's go ahead and crunch the numbers on this one real fast. Obviously, these are for Dungeons and Dragons. The game time's going to vary in your group. Game size again varies on your game group.
Yep.
What's the price point of both of these though?
$15.99, and I believe this one is going to be its traditional $49.95.
Yep. So $49.95 for this one, $15.99 for a booster box, right? And those are again random, kind of get.
Yeah, you won't be able to predict them, but you will get 4 minis in them, and it's a solid buy.
Sweet. And these are both in stores. They're in select stores now.
Yep.
Correct. And then they will have the full release September the 18th, I believe. Yep. Is when they're going to be in general retail.
General retail is next week, I think it is. So
sweet. We'll go check them out. I'm Adam Harry from BoLS.
And I'm Chris from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. Thanks again for watching. Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.